Ladies and gents, welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be looking at the Bitcoin price because we saw a rejection from the level that we discussed about on the previous video. We're going to talk about the FOMC, which was yesterday, and how this impacted and is going to in the future impact the markets furthermore. And also, we're going to talk Apple and a bunch more other stuff. So this video is going to be jam-packed. Make sure to watch until the end. Leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. That would be very much appreciated. But guys, I'm CryptoKid, and let's jump into the charts for Bitcoin. I'm actually super excited because I'm back at home in Dubai. It's been a very crazy week in Singapore. You probably saw from my face on my last video, I was very, very tired. I was super exhausted, and I slept for like 15 hours last night. But now we're all good and good to go on Bitcoin once more and making the channel as good as it can get. So on the previous video, Bitcoin was seeing a little bit of a pump, and we discussed that if Bitcoin were to continue pumping, that we would reach to around the 27.7K level because we have this very important resistance line. In fact, we could actually take a little bit lower. So 27.6K was a very good level for Bitcoin because historically we came down to this level on Bitcoin's price. And alongside that, we also had the 30-period moving average, which is a part of the 7, 30, and the 3 moving averages system that I like to use on the channel, which is called Consensio. I've talked about this on the previous videos, but I will give a reminder in the future ones, so stick around for that. But I discussed that this 27.6 to 7K level would be a very good price that Bitcoin could come to, test, and then drop back towards the downside because we did have this bearish cross on the weekly chart, and Consensio on the weekly, which has a bearish cross, does not end very good at all, because looking at the history of Consensio, we can see that the last time we had a bearish cross was back in the 10th of January, the week of the 3rd of January, actually, in 2022. And this led, until we saw the next bullish crossover, this led to a pretty big dump that I can't even see on the chart now. Here we go. So we dropped about 58.7%. Which is mind-blowing. I mean, if you just traded based on this and opened a short there, you would have made about 58.7%, which is very, very crazy. Now, a couple of videos back, I also discussed that whenever these moving averages do see the crossover, they do tend to draw the price towards them. Hence why we could see a pump towards it, but then get rejected immediately after it. So I did have this path over here, right, that I discussed, I think, a couple of videos ago, that we could pump back and then see a dump back towards the 25.2K level, which, you know, is looking like it could happen in the next couple of hours. But guys, again, if you want to be trading Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, you can head over to the description below. I have 2 of my personally preferred exchanges, both Bybit and Bitflex. I love to use together. And, you know, Bitflex is a no KYC alternative. And next week, we're going to be doing a very awesome giveaway with Bitflex. So if you do sign up using this link, you'll be able to participate in this giveaway. So I heavily recommend doing so. In Bybit, you can get a very nice deposit bonus by using this link over here. Now back to the chart. Right, so we discussed that we could see a move back towards the downside after we hit these moving averages, which we ended up doing. But what is next, ladies and gents? What is next? That is the question that you're asking. Now, crypto overall, it's not looking amazing. And it's very unfortunate that this is the situation where we don't have a lot of market movement. Now, if you are a fan of the videos and been watching the live streams that I made with Carl a couple of months back, I was discussing that my overall macro opinion on Bitcoin is that until we come towards the halving and until the spot ETFs are approved, Bitcoin would trade within this range between 25.2K and $31,000. This is the range that I believe Bitcoin would be trading in between. Because once the ETFs are approved and are in action, we know from the history of BlackRock, even after they approved their gold ETF, and gold being the mature asset that it already was before BlackRock had its gold ETF, immediately after the trades began, we saw a massive pump on gold. And now, why is this? Because we see, right, every time after an ETF is launched on Wall Street, we see Wall Street try to make as much money as possible off of the asset. So, in my opinion, the next bull market is going to be different to every other bull market in a sense that I think it's going to be a Wall Street manipulated bull market compared to a retail marketing mainstream bull market that we had in the previous cycle. So, if we do see the price breaking above 31K, I think 36 is going to be a very nice target for Bitcoin to come back up to. And of course, this is a time where I'm going to be taking some profits because I think 36K is just such a beautiful level for Bitcoin to come back up to in terms of previous resistance. And just to make it a bit more clear, we can say 35.4. I think this level is going to be very important for Bitcoin. And if we do end up coming to it, coming towards the halving, and after the ETFs are approved and in function, I think this could be a very realistic target for us for the first half of 2024. Hence, in a macro sense, I am bullish on Bitcoin. But in the short-term sense, we don't have too much volume. And that's the unfortunate truth. There is not much interest on Bitcoin. In fact, looking at the social elements of Bitcoin, the YouTube interactions, the Twitter interactions, they're at the lowest lows. And it's just very sad. In fact, let's go to Google Trends and find the easiest analytic that we can see. So let me just pull up Google Trends for you, and let's head to the screen. So if I pull up Google Trends and type in here Bitcoin, or in fact, let's write crypto in general, right? Let's search for crypto and see the overall engagement with crypto. And if we search the worldwide searches, and in the past, you know what, let's actually do 2004 to present to see a better search. Now, we saw, of course, this was the first bull market in 2017, the first major bull market. Then we had the second one in 2021. Then we had another one, right? We had actually two bull markets back to back during this phase over here. And of course, the bear market here was not that long. So we had 2021, and then the first half of 2021, then the second half of 2021, we saw two different bull markets, which was pretty crazy, right? And then you can see over here on Google Trends, then the Bitcoin hype began to fade away, and it's kind of correlated to the chart itself. And now we're at the lowest since this massive bull market that we had in 2021. So looking at that, we need some mainstream adoption. And looking at the countries where crypto is most popular, it's actually still Nigeria, which is pretty interesting because Nigeria is one of those countries where the economy isn't great. Hence, people depend on Bitcoin for their transactions. And in fact, that's the place where where they introduced, right, that they can actually send Bitcoin through satellite on their mobile phones, which was, in my opinion, very crazy and something that will be a very revolutionary use case in the future for Bitcoin. And that I explained a little bit more in detail in my Bitcoin Explained video, which I will link as a card at the top right-hand section. So these countries where hyperinflation is a lot, and their own money isn't worth much when you compare it to the dollar and when you compare it to the goods that they can purchase, it's their money is very undervalued. Hence, they can look at an option like Bitcoin where things just get much easier. But as I said, I talked about that in more detail on that particular video, which I would definitely recommend watching to get a wider understanding of the use cases for Bitcoin and why Bitcoin will change the world eventually, right? So looking at the trends again, we're at a very low point, and we need something new, right? We need something new in the markets because when NFTs came about, for example, that sparked interest in crypto a little bit more and kind of extended that bull market that we had. So NFTs was a massive push. We just need GameFi or something to give us a push on mainstream adoption, put us on the front headlines again. And of course, I think this will happen after the ETF adoption because, as I said, Wall Street will try to make as much money as possible. And for that to happen, they'll probably create some mainstream marketing, etc. I think that's very much possible. So the first half of 2024 is going to be interesting. And this is when I'm going to be deploying a lot of capital into Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies overall. Right now, of course, the markets are choppy. We're not seeing much movement. Hence, the trades are also not that great as well. But coming into the bull market, it's going to be a very dramatic change. What are my views? Where are we going to go for Bitcoin? In the short term, I think Bitcoin can come back and retest the support of 25.3K. That is possible. I wouldn't be scared if that does happen. It would be a point that I do put some buy orders, right? But overall, this crossover is so terrible that it is like I wouldn't be surprised if we came down to 24.2K. Yeah, it's just not looking too good at the moment. I think 24.2K is a massive level, and if we break below this, it's just going to be like insane buying opportunities for the next bull market. I mean, cryptos, altcoins that are like in GameFi and have good business models, they would probably fall to like 95, 98% below their all-time highs in the bull market. And it would be an insane time personally for myself to be accumulating some of these, which is I'm already doing, but I will go down even further if we do see that price drop back towards the 24.2K level. But ladies and gents, let's just discuss the FOMC very quickly, because the interest rates, right? We had the exact same interest rates. I was going to make a stream on this, but I didn't, because I did believe that we were going to see the exact same interest rates as we did the previous FOMC, and that not much would change and we wouldn't see a big drastic impact in the markets. I think the inflation target for next year is around 2.6%. There's most likely going to be another increase in the interest rates, just to, drop the inflation rate as much as possible. Maybe one or two more can come that could cause a dip in the markets, but after that, I think the recession is going to be the recession fears are going to be over, and markets will continue as it is, right? So that's just the update on FOMC. Now, before I end off the video, I also want to quickly discuss Apple, because Apple, right? Apple is going to be planning, well, they're planning on launching a feature in all of their mobile devices, I believe, or their Apple devices, to be actually able to buy Apple stock directly off your iOS device. And if this happens, that's just going to be crazy, because they would be reducing the barrier of entry to actually purchase Apple stock and making it accessible to hundreds of millions of Apple users worldwide. And that could really pump Apple's stock towards the upside, in my opinion. So I am, in terms of traditional markets, accumulating Apple, because ask yourself this question, right? If you got offered $10,000 to never ever buy an Apple product again, and I know Samsung and Android users in the comment section below is like, I'll take that $10,000 happily, but I know every single Apple user will say no to this. Would you take 10,000 US dollars to never ever use or buy an Apple product again? The most common answer when this question was asked was no, including myself. And once you look at Apple stock, it's at $175. So it's very much undervalued, in my opinion. And in the upcoming 10, 15, 20 years, I think Apple stock will be much higher than it is at the moment. I think the Vision Pro is going to make a dramatic impact. I don't think many people are thinking that way, but I think the Vision Pro is going to be very, very successful. So, ladies and gents, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to smash up that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. And ladies and gents, I'll be seeing you all in the next video very shortly. So, guys, take care, have a nice day, and bye-bye.